Hi friends, welcome to another edition of techVIDEO. Today I want to discuss about should OTT be regulated or not. Now, before discussing on this, I think we have to first see where does OTT stand as of today. Over the years, since we saw data services becoming mainstream, data becoming mainstream, what is happening? There is what I would say, a, a phenomenal shift in the positioning of OTT services. Now, what do I mean by that? In earlier times, what was happening is OTT was seen as a value added or as an add on service. And regulating it or not wouldn't make much of a difference. Remembering maybe some 12 years ago, when there was a global discussion around should the VoIP be regulated or not, and different regulators across the globe were taking different opinions about it. There was a consensus, at least, that VoIP as a phone service was not mainstream. It was a kind of secondary service, and so to say, having regulations for them wasn't making much of a difference because there was a primary phone in the form of a landline, the BSTN traditional landline, which was giving access to, say, emergency services, which was following a number, convention, and so on. Now, it was when VoIP was just minuscule. If we look at the present scenario, what is happening? All these OTT apps are now becoming mainstream, and many places they are becoming the default or the primary services. Now, just take in case, I think, in case of, say, TV content, entertainment industry, if we talk about. In that case, for many of us, apps like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and others have become the primary entertainment source. Now, what does that kind of indicate to? That indicates that we need to have now the same kind of regulations for them as we have for others. And why? Simple, because at the end of the day, regulation doesn't only, control who is to be allowed and who is not to be allowed, but it also takes care of the consumer interests. And to protect those consumer interests, it is very essential and important that each and every such service is monitored, regulated, and controlled in one or the other dimension. So from that perspective, I think it's becoming now increasingly important that there is a regulatory mechanism for OTT applications to the extent that the consumer interests are safeguarded. Yes, I do agree we do not have to infringe into the creativity that these OTT apps have kind of imbibed in them. We don't have to inhibit that culture of innovation and inhibit creativity in it. We don't have to restrict them and confine their business opportunities by becoming just very very local. We have to allow them to have a global outlook, but I think at the end of the day, consumer interest is global in nature. So what is good for a consumer out here is good for a consumer anywhere in the world. Yes, there could be differences in, say, cultural acceptability and subtle nuances each culture would have, I think, yes, we have to localize to that extent to make it more relevant for the country we're talking about. But then we can't let it free. So I feel at the end of the day, OTT is and needs to be somewhere restricted and monitored if we really want to leverage more and more data services. Otherwise, we are just going to see this as uh, maybe a digital nuisance being created. So I think it's time to have at least start deliberating on and explore finding out a way of having a framework to regulate or at least soft regulate the OTT space, just from the point of view that we are safeguarding consumer interests and we do not tomorrow end up in something like a cultural resistance or some which could be, a troublemaker for the entire OTT space. OTT is not bad, it's doing wonderful things, it's bringing in a lot of, I would say, democratization, a lot of interactivity between various technology platforms and a user. So it's very, very relevant, very, very important. But at the end of the day, we have to safeguard consumer interests. I think at the end, I would just say that OTT is not just is over the top. It's not definitely over the telecom. So we have to treat and create a level playing field for both where telecom and OTT coexist and we don't have a situation where we see them competing and we see one as threat to another. That's all what I wanted to share today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Do share your feedback and comments and stay engaged. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Bye.